Hi guys, my name is Dr. Rocker and today I will show you the best way to sketch a full body with all the muscles and stuff on the iPad with Procreate. I did some videos recently where I showed you some sketching tips for faces and stuff like that. But today we want to draw one of my famous pin-ups I post on Instagram all the time. Make sure to check out my Instagram account, by the way, link is in the description. Which means we need to start with some gesture drawings on the iPad. The thing with gesture drawings, and all drawings really, but especially whole figures, is that it might be a problem when you draw them on a flat table, because the angle might cause a distortion. And very often you would not recognize that until you've invested way too much time in a project. Cause when the underdrawing is wrong, there is no rescue for your drawings. That's why my drawing table is bent, a bit at least. Still not enough though. So you could sit on the couch to see the drawing more upright, but then you might not have the freedom of range for your arm to draw properly. You can also put a book under your iPad to get a better angle. But there's an even better solution. Check this out. TORRAS came up with a really great stand for your iPad. It really is something. You can use every angle you can think of. And it's really solid. I didn't think it would work as well, to be honest, but so far this thing really holds its ground. You can use this for watching a movie or playing a game as well, of course, but the real test is if it holds when you have to draw on it, so it needs to support the weight of your arm. And for some reason they actually managed to make this happen. So let's put this one quite steep so we can see our gestures properly. For inking or proper quality lines, I prefer an angle which is not as steep, but for the first step this adjustment is great. When we draw our gestures now, we see instantly if they are right. It's also a big advantage, of course, to be able to draw in the size you feel most comfortable with and then adjust the drawing to your canvas. And especially to be able to make the drawing smaller with just 2 fingers is a game changer compared to drawing traditionally. Cause when you see the drawing smaller, you will spot mistakes instantly. Which brings me to a great tip some guys pointed out in the comment section on my overall Procreate tip video, which you should check out, by the way. I really put a lot of effort in there. I think it's my best Procreate video I've ever done. Link in description, hopefully. But here's what I learned. Sometimes when you want to zoom in or out with 2 fingers, the iPad accidentally makes a line you don't want to have. So press this button right here, go to Preferences, Gesture Controls, General, and then disable Touch Actions, this one. Now you cannot draw with your finger anymore, just with a pencil. No accidental lines anymore. You're welcome. And thank you for the guys who pointed it out. Anyway, I like to use the Gesinski ink tool, even for sketching. It works great on my iPad Pro and doesn't have a delay or feels funny in any way. It's always good to warm up with some gesture drawings, not just the one you want to draw, but different poses. Cause that's what we need to practice a lot, the most maybe even. And the warming up factor before drawing the real deal is also a quite important one. You don't have to draw in all the muscles, but if you feel like it, go ahead and concentrate on some details like that. But mainly focus on the base drawing. With the iPad, you can fool around with the freehand mask tool to see how the head would look a bit bigger or a bit smaller in your drawing. That might also be a good way to learn something about your drawings. You can sketch in red or blue if you prefer, so it differentiates from the ink lines later, but I want to keep these first lines in my drawing as well, so I stick to black. By the way, what's really great about that stand, it has a built-in pencil holder where the pencil is getting charged but will not fall off all the time, like with my previous case. I love that. When I'm done with the first draft, however, I lower the opacity and draw a bit more defined. I still want to stay sketchy, but not as messy as the first draft. This I draw on an extra layer, of course. Now we have a decent line art layer. You can work cleaner if you prefer, but like I said, I like a more messy look. And you see, we are drawing Hellboy today, with a huge cape, which will be quite dark. And this we want to do next. I would also recommend to do big areas first, so you will get a good feeling for the contrast in your drawing. Then you can prevent that your drawing is getting too dark. Therefore, I use the freehand mask tool to fill the area with a gray tone on an extra layer. You can put the freehand mask tool on automatic filling, then you are quicker. Then I create another layer which I put on clipping mask. Now I only draw on the gray surface I just created with the mask. Of course, you could just use pure black and have everything filled out instantly, but we want to achieve a sketchy look here. I just wanted to show you how easily this would go as well. But filling out this huge area with just small lines would take ages. But I got the solution right here. Use the Ute brush. You can find it at the bottom of the nature brush section. Look how great this works. This is awesome. This way you will have a sketchy look on the dark areas in no time. Already looking good. Then we straight away create another layer to define all the other areas we want to do strong blacks on. Such a fast way to work, but still it looks so cool. Next step, we use a simple brush for defining some darker shadow areas. Not black ones like just though. Using a gray tone and not full opacity will do the trick. This way we can define most of the areas that need to be on the darker side for hatching. If it gets too messy for your taste, then you can use the smudge tool to straighten this out a little bit. However you prefer it. You could also use the gouache blur, this one, and blur the whole layer, you see? Then it gets softer. However you like it. It might also be in your interest to create different layers for different surfaces, like here. So you can tamper around with this one and not touching the other one. For example, if you want to do the thing again, you can see I just blurred the belt. And now we have an overall idea how the shadows need to be placed. Next we use the Gazinski ink brush to hatch the whole drawing. This is the most time consuming, but also the most fun part. Make sure to see every muscle as its own form and hatch towards the light source. If you want a clean look, hatch more in a straight and consistent way. I prefer the more sketchy look, so I try to make those lines uneven and change the angle a lot. This makes for a more lifelike feeling. If you want to speed up the process in some areas that aren't too important, use the fine hairbrush. With one stroke you can draw various lines, but you lose control compared to the single lines. Okay, so let's put on some music and hatch this thing.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate.
Okay, as you can see, we are done with the hatching lines for all the fleshy parts. And I just wanted to show you real quick, when we get rid of the layer we've done before, the one where we defined all the shadings, it'll look like that. If you prefer it like that, you can keep on working and maybe try to get some more contrast here and there, but I like the look with all these little shadowed area. And the next thing I want to show you is when we take the fine hairbrush again, but do this on an extra layer, just to be sure, you can try out to get some more lines in there. You know, it's the one who makes like lines like this, and make for more contrast with not a lot of effort, and you might like the look. I do. It's not necessary to do that, but I think it works pretty nicely. You can see we are able to get way more contrast in a really short amount of time. Especially useful for the transition from really dark areas onto the lighter ones. I hope you can see this properly in the video, but here in real life it makes a big difference. And it's going so fast. And just to show you again, I didn't do much, but still, if I remove the layer, there's way less contrast. So since the shading is done for all the body parts, we will continue with the staff and all the other not fleshy parts, and therefore I will use a bit of a bigger brush size. I will use a 10 there. I was using a 6 before, because I will make a bit bigger strokes for these, because otherwise the whole drawing would take ages, and it doesn't have to be so fine, if you know what I mean. So let's do that now. As you can see, we now have a proper base drawing, a lot of Dr. Rocket details in the belt, and now we need to put in some veins, and you know the trick. I'll change the background to another color, and now I will use just a normal brush. Using perfect white with a double click right here. Now it's white. Adjusting the size, this is about right. And now we draw in the veins as we like them. Looks a bit funny now, but as you might know from some of my other videos, this will work out great. Using black again, and now just drawing the shadow of the veins, just like that. You can go quite thick with the shadow, more than you would think, because then the vein is popping out really good. And always keep in mind where the light source is coming from, which is from this direction. So that's the reason there are no shadows on this side of the veins. Now we change the background color back to white. Again, just a double tap right here. And you can see, looks awesome! And here we go. That's it. Our finished drawing. You can zoom in quite a lot because we did pretty small details, which is cool but also really time consuming. You could go ahead and use thicker lines, because when you make it smaller you would still be able to have a decent drawing with thicker lines, which means not as much work as I did have to do here. I mean, look at that. And since I grouped all the hatching layers together, I can show you the drawing without the hatchings with one click. If you want to group stuff together, by the way, you can do it like this. You take the layer like that, now you have those two, and now you say group, and they are in a group. Pretty easy. And now you can, these are the veins. I could call the group veins if I would like. I called this one hatching. And when I put away the group, the veins are gone. And before I forget, if you lower the opacity, like I did here, it looks like a pencil drawing because all the black areas are getting gray. Also very neat. And should you be interested in this TORRAS stand, I will leave the link down in the description so you can check it out yourself. It was working pretty good. After drawing for hours with this thing now, I have to admit sometimes when I leant in it gave in a little, but at least at the end point it's really stable. But overall I'm pretty happy with it. I'm glad I got this one. Okay guys, but that's it for today's video. I hope you had fun watching and I hope to see you on the next one. And also check out my Instagram page. The link is down in the description. I do a lot of stuff over there, so see you there as well. And now I want you to go and watch this video. It's also a very interesting one. If you're interested in Procreate, you will like this one as well. It's a bit of an older one. I'll show you how to ink on this one. So have fun watching this and learning some stuff. And yeah, have a great day. Bye.